Hi, my name is Peter Walker, and I run the GESARA Show with Gilles. On May the 8th, there is a big conference with notable people from the Truth Movement, and that is during the day. In the evening, we are offering the GESARA Show, a live streamed event, and you can be part of the show. It costs you £20 a head, and we're going to be talking about the events discussed in the conference, the latest news, and answering your questions and answers live, that is with you, the audience, in the room. If you pay on the night, it's £30 if there are seats available. We have 100 seats. When they're gone, they're gone. We can't do anything more than that. Book now, and I will see you there. Welcome to the GESARA Show. We always have to start with something specific because that's where I start the edits on the video.
Sorry, we had a little technical issues going on before we let everybody in, so yeah, we just got that all working out.
That's right. Yes, we had a few microphone issues. I wanted to try out the microphones I'm going to be using in Birmingham, and it was working in my tests. That right now, for some reason, it was not working.
Right.
So I switched back to my normal studio microphone. And so, great news. Birmingham is happening.
Birmingham is happening, yes.
Birmingham is happening with us, I mean.
Well, oh, yeah, right. Not just Charlie and David.
Not just Charlie and everybody.
Right.
I've booked my flights. I've booked my hotel. I've booked a room for our show. I've been testing equipment. I've been preparing the show. The website to book the tickets is like 90% finished. I was hoping to get it finished in time for the show. I was just missing like half an hour to finish the job. So immediately after the show, I will finish that, and then tickets can be bought online.
All right. So we finished the show at about 3 p.m. my time, which is about 10 p.m. your time. You got 2 hours, midnight, your time, in order to finish the website. Okay, so you're on a deadline here.
I'm on a deadline. Yes,
you're on a deadline.
Well, I mean, before I can edit the video, I have to wait until Zoom makes the recording available. That always takes about half an hour.
Right.
And so in that time, I will be working on the website trying to get it ready.
All right. I did find out today that there was going to be a security question that you're going to go to. You're going to have to answer it, and you have to answer it properly when you go to your RV appointment. Okay. They'll want you to give a first name for every letter in the alphabet in less than 15 seconds. Okay.
Are you?
Yeah.
It's not the 1st of April.
Yeah. It's real easy to do. Okay. All right. It really is. Okay. A first name for every letter in the alphabet in less than 15 seconds. You ready?
Will you try it?
Time me. Ready?
Wait a minute. I'll just get my stopwatch running.
Okay.
1 second. I've got one of these smart watches, and somewhere in here is a stopwatch.
We're just waiting for everybody to join in here, so we're stalling for time.
That's right. Right. Okay. Just found the stopwatch app.
All right.
Okay. Ready, steady, go.
Adolf, Blaine, Charles, David, Earl, Frederick, Gerald, Hubert, Irvin, John, Kenneth, Lloyd, Martin, Nero, Oliver, Paul, Quincy, Randolph, Sherman, Thomas, Ulysses, Victor, Williams, Aries, Yancey, Zeus.
Is that it? 11 seconds. 11 seconds.
11 seconds. You see, it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done.
It can be done.
All right.
But don't take this seriously. I do
not
believe
that was a joke. That was just a joke, so right. That's a warm-up trick for broadcasters. Okay. Right. You know how like guitarists do little licks and things like that. Life in the Fast Lane by the Eagles. Okay. The lick that goes off at the beginning of the song was actually a warm-up thing for Joe Walsh, and they incorporated it into a song. And this is the way that doing little things like this help broadcasters get their enunciation correct. That's all it was. Just a little waste of time here. But anyway, I think we're up to about 240 here, and there's nobody in the waiting room.
Are we at 10 past? We're at 5 past.
We're
quarter past. We're
quarter past, but we started late too.
No, we started late. Yes.
All right. Where is everybody from, real quick? Okay. Garnet Valley says hi. Let's see. We'll put in a chat. South Dakota, Oregon, Mississippi, Belgium, Israel, San Diego, Canada. We have Israel. Yeah, we got Nova Scotia. We got Virginia, Boston,
Dorset,
Switzerland, Anaheim, Colorado,
Sydney,
Indiana, Texas,
Wales, UK,
Michigan, Atlanta,
Gulf Coast, my home,
Amarillo, Tennessee,
DeSantis
land. I like that. DeSantis land. Right, there you go. Now, wouldn't that be a good call for them to rename Disney World DeSantis land? That would be cool. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm rather wary about calling Disney World anything these days.
I know it's a swamp.
They're in trouble.
It's a swamp. Right, Australia, Arizona,
California.
California. Yeah, I love it.
Sweden, nice. I've been to Sweden. Nice place. My
garden. Yeah. Okay.
I'm surprised nobody's from Mars or Venus or one of the other planets. Hastings, UK. Great, Peter. Okay.
Okay.
No, someone said.
No, wait. No.
Pluto.
Pluto.
It's a planet.
It's a planet. Uranus. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Appreciate that. All right.
It is a planet. It is a legitimate.
Ready
planet.
For the Kentucky Derby in Louisville? Yes. I did place a winning bet one time on one horse and won like $10,000 on the Kentucky Derby, and that was with Ferdinand and Bill Shoemaker. Or Bill Shoemaker was the jockey.
Were they racing Kentucky Fried Chickens?
No, horses.
Horses.
The Kentucky Derby is the big horse race.
Oh, I thought it was some chickens which were running away so they wouldn't be fried.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, one question: is there anybody here from Birmingham or near Birmingham on the show today?
Well, I know that there's several people in England. Ron, you're
the
in
UK,
England.
I'm sure. Yes, but Billy misses all the jokes. That's probably true. Well, not quite all. He does get some. Coventry.
I do get some. I do get some. I have to watch more Monty Python to keep up with the British humor.
We've got a Birmingham, Georgia. That doesn't count, unfortunately. We're talking about Birmingham, UK, United Kingdom.
Pat Bishop. I know you're over in the UK. Pond. Yeah.
My side of the pond.
I'm originally from. Well, I was born in Bristol, but I've lived in Birmingham for most of my life. But I've now lived in Torquay, Devon.
Oh, great. Okay.
I know about Birmingham, I can tell you.
So are you coming to the Birmingham event this year?
I can't, unfortunately.
Oh, well.
That would have been great. Yeah. You could have shown me around Birmingham. Although I have been to Birmingham before. In fact, a cousin of mine used to live there. So it's not like I've never been to Birmingham before. But I've been to Birmingham several times in my life, let's be honest. But I have, let me think. I don't think I've put a show on in Birmingham up to now.
All right.
I've visited exhibitions, but not actually putting on one myself. Anyway, let's give you the quick news on the Birmingham conference.
Yep.
May the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been doing some deep research into this. I found out that Charlie's team had 650 tickets to offer. Yeah. So when they started offering the tickets, they had 650 tickets for the show, and 100 tickets for their evening event. And let me just have a look now. Let's look live how many tickets they have left. They have 289 of those 650 tickets still available, but nothing for the evening event. So they've just about half full. They've just about half the tickets they're intending to sell. And I've been watching it the last few days. They're selling about 4 or 5 tickets a day at the moment. So, so if you want to go to Birmingham, I think you've still got a lot of chances of getting in.
Right, and since their daytime one is like 650 tickets, but their evening one is only 100 tickets, that gives us the chance to do something in the evening with people who don't have anything else to do. So Peter's going to host a live show in Birmingham on the same evening that Charlie is doing it.
That's right. Same time as well.
Because they only allow 100 people into that event.
That's right. So you know, we don't outdo him. So we've got 100 seats for our event as well. So we're offering 100 seats to visit the GESARA show live with me in person. And we're going to have I'm going to start with a summary of the conference, what has been talked about at the conference. So instead of doing the international intel, it'll be the intel from the conference. And then we're going to do Q&A. I have a number of things in planning for the show. It's going to be very different to the show we normally do, but it's going to still have Q&A. So you still have audience asking questions. It's just not you guys on the internet asking questions. It's going to be the people on site in the room who will be able to answer me questions. Right.
And Peter is right now setting up, it will broadcast it on YouTube, I believe. Is that right?
Yes,
Peter?
yeah. It would have been a bit technically difficult to broadcast it on Zoom. So what we're going to do, I'm still testing this. I haven't finished the testing, but it should work. I'm going to be using a 360-degree camera to broadcast it, but filming in 2 directions. So at the top of the screen you'll see me, and at the bottom of the screen you'll be able to see the audience. And I can switch it between just me or just the audience as needed on the night.
They're making a suggestion that it be a Zim Bond meeting. You need to dress up as Zim Bond.
Well, I will definitely be putting a suit on. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be shooting anybody though. Maybe,
right, exactly.
I think we've done that.
Will the Bond girls show up? That's the next question.
Well, I'm certainly hoping so. I mean,
we need a few Bond girls to show up there in Birmingham at the party. Yeah, there you
go. So I'm just looking forward to the Bond girls. Definitely. Actually, they'll be called Brum girls because Brum is the name for Birmingham. So instead of Bond girls, it'll be Brum girls or girls in Brum, whatever.
Right.
Anyway, I've been planning the show. I've managed to get I was stupid. I should have booked the hotel the first time, but I thought the hotel was the last thing I booked. When I initially looked at the price for the hotel, it was £57 a night. But I then booked the conference room. I booked my flight. And the next day, because it was late that night, I said, I'll book the hotel the next day. When I went back to book the hotel the next night, £90 a night.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So,
you got in just in time.
Well, yes. Well, no, I didn't because I could have paid £57 a night and paying £90 a night. But okay, that's my fault for not booking the hotel earlier.
Right. All right. So what do we got today, Peter?
Well, I say, let me just quickly finish on the conference.
Oh, okay.
I will be arriving in Birmingham on Friday afternoon, and I'm leaving on Monday afternoon. So I will have a bit of time up front. I've offered Charlie's team that if they need an extra pair of hands setting up their event, I'm there to help. And if not, if any of you are arriving in Birmingham early, then maybe we can meet beforehand.
Have a pint.
Have a pint, whatever. I'd be very welcome. I say I will be setting it up, but I hope by then I'll have everything organized. Either that or I'll be in the conference room testing things. Well, in fact, if you're looking for me, that will be one place to look, is actually in the conference room in what's it called? Jury's Inn. I think it's called Jury's Inn. So we don't know where Charlie's holding his event. He's not told anybody. they've said his event is going to be announced 48 hours before the event happens. I've been phoning around various hotels in the area, which I thought were holding his event, but none of them said that they were hosting his event. No, I didn't catch all the hotels, so I don't know where his event is.
All right. What hotel are you staying at? That's what they want to know.
I'm staying in the Hampton Hotel, the one which Charlie's meant, the Hampton by Hilton, Birmingham. So that's the hotel I'm staying in, which is where I think most people will be staying. So I'll be there. So, but that particular hotel doesn't have any suitable conference rooms. The only room they had was for 20 people. It's too small. So I asked nearby hotels, and the best deal I could find was the Jury's Inn. It's 3 minutes walk from the Hampton Hotel, so it's really not a long way. 3 minutes walk, and that will take you into that hotel. We're being on the first floor, and they have a double room. They have a room which will seat 50 people, and it can be expanded to seat 100 room just by removing the separating wall. Mm-hmm. So the deal I've arranged with the hotel is that I've initially booked the 50-seat room, and as soon as we sell more than 50 seats, I'm going to book the other half as well. That's the deal. So that way I can be flexible, because I don't know how many people are coming, but I think the chances are good that we can get all 100 seats sold, because there's going to be about 300 to 400 people with nowhere to go on that evening, because there's only 100 people fit in Charlie's evening do. So I'm hopeful that we'll get 100 seats sold, and the price of the tickets is £20 when you buy in advance on the website. That includes tea, coffee, and snacks, and of course 3 hours of myself cheering you along, giving you some information, and we're going to see if we can get Billy via a live stream onto the event,
or if not live, if everything comes down before then, and I'll be able to afford a flight. So.
Yeah, that's right. If we get the exchange before then, he'll fly over.
Exactly.
But otherwise, it'll just be me. Well, what do you mean just? I mean, so I'll be running the show, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and I hope learn a lot of interesting things. I'm taking lots of camera equipment. I will be filming it, and I'm trying. I want to get some interviews with people as well during the day, which we can then also somehow put it into the show, or show at a later date, whatever. So it's going to be a fun day on the Sunday, a very busy day, and it would be great if lots of you came to the show, all those who can. I understand if you're in Australia or in the USA that it's a long way to go, but if you're in the UK, it would be great to make it over. I say I'm flying over from Germany. It's an hour-and-a-half flight for me. I'm flying from Düsseldorf to Birmingham Airport. So that's about it. I'm very excited about the show, and I look forward to it. And it'd be great to meet you guys in person. And I'm going to do my best to make it a night to remember. Put it that way. Okay, enough of this. I'll tell you where the tickets will be available as soon as I've got the website finished. It'll be at NESARA-GESARA.com/tickets. That's the location I'm going to be putting the website to buy the tickets. One last thing, the show will be an hour later than normal, because we're starting at 7 p.m. UK time, the same time as Charlie's starting his evening event. So normally the show is at 6 p.m. in the UK, so it'll be 1 hour later than usual, but that's the only extra thing. Okay, so let me take these headphones off, and read you the intel. Now, I was so busy today, I have not read this myself yet. So this is new to me as much as it's as new to you. But what I have been hearing in the past few days is that the delay with the RV is due to two countries, Iraq and
Venezuela,
who have not passed the ISO 2022 compliance. They haven't done that yet. They should have that done by the 5th of May. So what I'm hearing is that the start of the RVs will probably be now the 5th of May because of those two countries. All the rest of the world was ready. It's just those two countries which were holding it all up.
Mm-hmm.
And the decision I heard was if they're not ready by then they're going to move without them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because we've been putting this off way too long.
That's right. You know, because you can't have two countries holding up the world for too long.
Right.
So it sounds like 5th of May is when the revaluation is due to occur. A lot of people will say we'll believe that when it comes. Well, we will see. The 5th of May.
A lot of dates flying around out there, but you know, this one seems pretty accurate.
Well, evidently Tier 4B has not yet received notification to set appointments as expected this week because the countries of Venezuela, Iraq, and Iran, there was one more country, were not yet ISO 20022 compliant. Okay, so actually I was wrong. There were 3 countries, not 2, which are not compliant.
I thought it was 2, but okay, go ahead. Okay,
so we know who to blame now. It's Venezuela, Iraq, and Iran. If they were not compliant by May the 1st, we may go without them, is what they say. So May the 1st, I thought by May the 5th. The GCR could also be triggered by an event such as the resignation of our friend Joe, or non-friend Joe, stock market implosion, or other code red event. Well, I mean, I don't know how much is going to happen in the couple of days up to the 1st of May.
Yeah.
We heard from Charlie in his show that the massive nuclear explosion in New York was stopped due to the fact that it would have been widely disseminated and so many people knew about it that they could no longer do it. And that stopped that. Well, I mean, that is a great reason to watch these shows, because if we can help stop major catastrophes and save lives, that's great. And that that particularly applies to Charlie's team, but everybody else who repeated it, which we did as well.
Right.
And it's not the first time that making an event public ahead of time has forced them to stop such negative events. Chatter among the military was that the event we were waiting for would be the implosion of the Biden administration, according to Mark Z. Another event could negate these headlines. Sunday, the 24th of April, that's already been, isn't it? World War III deep state to launch weapons of mass destruction into space. America moves beyond a red line with mysterious deadly capsule attack against Russia. Now, that Social Fall, I don't know if you can trust Social Fall. Social Fall is one of these people who put out almost false news. Yeah? So what? And the White House, US administration is concerned about the possibility of Iran developing nuclear weapons in the next 2 weeks. Well, either they've got them or they've not got them. But I think if Iran wants to be part of the world community, they're not going to be attacking anybody. And to develop, I don't think that will happen, to be honest. So Charlie Ward is quoted on Friday, the 22nd of April at 6 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. Oh no, or is that Eastern Summer Time, isn't it?
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time, okay.
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time.
The global launch of the funds has just taken place in all parts of the world, making the start of the global asset redemption program registered in the rescue. This officially started an hour ago. This is fantastic news for all recipients. You can now start paying with the tens of thousands of operations around the world waiting for this event in the course of in due course, the ransom arrives, whatever that means. So anyway, it looks like we're going to have to wait into May, but not far into May. I'm hearing everything from 1st to the 5th of the May, and then we should be able to exchange. Well, we will see. The public announcement was initially planned for the 1st of May. So, and right now anything can happen. We could get a message in today that we can start making appointments, because they wanted to actually get us in before the public are made aware of this.
Right.
So it's interesting stuff. On Tuesday, the 26th of April, which was 2 days ago, at midnight, the United Nations lost all power over any sovereign nation according to national treaties. They work with the World Bank SWIFT system. Sovereign nations will have to switch to the Chinese SIP system. So that means the end of SWIFT, the end of the United Nations, end of the World Bank. Sounds like a great thing to me.
Things are happening. Things are happening.
Sounds like things are getting really good. And wow, I'm looking forward to the show on Birmingham. I want to say it's all happened, mate. We're ready, you know.
Right. Yeah.
This is my dream. Well, now it's no longer a dream. I know I'm going there. I know we've got the tickets booked, and I hope to meet as many of you as I can over there. So the time has come. Everyone will be amazed, dark to life, according to a dead man called John F. Kennedy. Maybe when they called him dead, it was just his legal fiction which was dead, and that the real person was still alive.
Could be. We know that they've used body doubles forever and a day. Could it have been? Could it?
Yes, but we haven't been seeing body doubles of John F. Kennedy, have we? Or John F. Kennedy Jr., I mean. Well,
there's we'll go down that conspiracy theory hole another time. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I say, we were hearing of body doubles of all kinds of people, but not John F. Kennedy. He hasn't shown his face yet.
All I can say is Officer Tippett. Okay.
Yeah.
If you know about the story of that whole day, November 22nd in 1963, there was an officer by the name of Officer Tippett who was a pardon the pun, dead ringer for John F. Kennedy. Okay, looked exactly like him. He was shot that same day, and interesting.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the other stars appearing. I mean, Michael Jackson is apparently still alive. Princess Diana is still alive, and and all kinds
and
of
hidden in plain sight too. I mean, there's a lot of celebrities that we think that are dead that are possible.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you were to meet her in the street, you just think, oh, well, she looks a bit like Diana, but obviously can't be Diana.
Yep.
Because she's dead, but of course they could be. Maybe she's watching our show now. Who knows?
I actually heard she was living in Australia.
So yeah, that would be a great best to have on the show, wouldn't it, Princess Diana?
Yeah, Robin Williams, John Lennon, Whitney Houston, George Michael. We don't know for sure, but all of those people were heavily ingrained into the music industry, and we know that the music industry has been corrupt for years, and they've been trying to expose it and get out of the cabal-run industry, where they had to submit and do all the nefarious things and all the evil things and worship Baal and stuff like that in order to have a career. So, it was very well explained in the video, Michael Jackson's The Best Is Yet to Come, how he got out. All right. And wanted to get out of that music industry. So,
right. So the next quote is attributed to a person called Real Donald Trump. Some of you may have heard of this guy. And if you haven't heard of him, you're fired.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, yes. And I'm not talking about Lord Sugar. That's something that the people in the British in the UK will understand, because the British have their own version of The Apprentice, and it's Lord Sugar who runs that. I actually watch it. I actually like watching it. It's a great show.
Yep.
Peter?
I class that program as business training.
Okay. What else we got?
So anyway, the quote: "It's time. They underestimated us all. They thought their demonic plan would have worked in the details, and everyone would have kneeled to their deranged will. They were terribly wrong. They will never change what we really are. God's creation. Tick-tock, today will be a new day." So I don't know if you really said that. It's attributed to him. So let's just go with that. Now, of course, things are falling into place. Elon Musk has been able to buy Twitter. And I suspect one of his next actions will be to let Donald Trump have his account back.
Well, we'll see about that. There's been some speculation of whether Trump will come back to Twitter or not, but it's got everybody really nervous, because when
Telling
Elon
me it's
changed,
got them nervous because suddenly the tide is turned on them.
Well,
suddenly,
Elon changed all the algorithms and got all the source codes and everything else. So all of those tweets that had been coming out and whatnot, he has all the backlog of all of those tweets that were sent privately.
Not only that, a lot of people, a lot of these lefties thought they had massive following, and it turns out a lot of it were bots.
Yeah.
To make them feel like they had big following. So of course, when the bots are switched off, they'll suddenly lose maybe half their following.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden, conservative people who were on there have started, their followers have just went massively overboard. I mean, Joe Rogan got like 2 million followers.
That's right. Yes.
You know, within a matter of hours after Musk got the source codes.
Now, what I would like to see is conservative fact checkers. In other words, when the leftists say something, it'll be then corrected by the good guys with fact checking and providing real evidence. And wow, will that a lot of heads explode?
Oh yeah. Well, people's heads are exploding all over the place. You know, they're like, oh my gosh, no, can't let Orange Man back, no. You know.
Wow, that's right. So I think it's a great time to come alive. I think
it's
often
funny,
said, but very true.
It's very funny watching it all play out.
So now let's move on. This was received from a good friend about the global currency reset. This is obviously must be interesting. So I was so tight with time because I was trying to get the website online that I haven't actually read any of this. It's new to me as it is to you. It sounds like God has us precisely where we need to be, spiritually and intellectually, humbled and hanging on. Every great man or woman must go through an emotional transition, if only for the sake of the suffering children, if only for the hurting and helpless innocent ones. Remember the admonishment of Q. The end won't be for everyone.
Right.
When will the military unification happen? When will fiscal deliverance come? When will the children finally be freed from this wretched horror? The answer lies in due time, in God's timing. Be freed from this wretched horror. The answer lies in due time. In God's timing, we will prevail. For where we go one, we go all.
Correct.
I thought that's pretty good.
It is really good. I mean, and Putin rescued 35,000 children out of the dumbs that were in Ukraine. And we've seen the evidence of children being rescued all around the world. This is something that we don't want happening. We don't want these children, to suffer like this. It's
right.
Really,
okay. So let's move on. The following is from Bruce. He does this show called The Big Call.
Mhm.
To be honest, I haven't watched that very often, but I do often see the write-ups about it, and it's normally pretty good. So what's coming in is a Wells Fargo banker, which was in charge of Zimmer redemption, had a 3-hour Zoom call last Wednesday that indicated we were expecting this to happen on Monday or today, Tuesday, 26th of April. Well, obviously it didn't happen. The lead banks might be misinformed on purpose, and we may not get started before the end of the month. We could go even in a couple of countries aren't ready to go: Venezuela, Iraq, and possibly Iran. There was a 3-day holiday before Ramadan on May the 2nd to the 4th. So May the 5th has been announced as a code red event. That's why I said May the 5th. I mean, May the 4th is also a very famous day. It's called May the 4th be with you, which is Star Wars Day.
Star Wars Day, right?
You know, I'm not really so much of a Star Wars person. I've obviously seen all the movies and seen it all, but I compare Star Wars to Star Trek. Like, Star Wars is like a fantasy set in the past, and you know, it's just like a fantasy story. It's not based on anything which is kind of real. Whereas Star Trek is based in our future and is based on our understanding of how technology could be in the 24th century.
Right.
So, and it's much more so, and it's much more about the human communications and stuff. Anyway, we're digressing. So May the 5th has been announced a code red event. This could be the start of NESARA, GESARA, the RV, a change of the US administration, Biden out, JFK Jr.'s return, or it could be all of them. May the 5th. We'll have a show on that day, so maybe we can tell you all about it. We're going to be watching very closely on that day.
Yes, we will.
And of course, what we don't get on May the 5th, we'll present in Birmingham. So, wow, I'm looking forward to that now. It's exciting. There may be indictments from the Durham Report coming out that could trigger the event. Yeah, apparently he's got a lot of things but he's been hinting at, and he's doing a lot of teasing, this Durham guy. I think a lot of people are going to get big shocks. Redemption centers received their notifications first and were supposed to receive it after lunch and then 2 hours later. Tier 4B, we keep hearing about Tier 4B, would receive our notification at the same time in each time zone. They said, now, because I also speak German, I always sort of smile when they say Tier 4B, because the German word tier means animal. So it's like animal 4B, you know, so it sounds like to anybody who speaks German. Anyway, let's move on. The real news. I'm just seeing if this is actually up to date. Yeah, it is up to date. But it's talking about things on the 26th. But I only just printed it out, so it should be the latest. Let's just skip through some of this. Apparently, one of Twitter's top lawyers, no, I think you guys say attorneys. I know, no, wait a bit. The British say solicitors.
Right.
And solicitor in British English means attorney.
Right.
In American English. And solicitors in America means a loiterer or something like that.
Not a loiterer. A solicitor is someone who would come up to you and solicit you for information, or come to your front door and present you with stuff that you're not asking for.
Right. Okay. Well, isn't that what lawyers do?
Well, no, they don't go door to door or anything like that.
Well, maybe not, but they still give.
But they do solicit business. I mean, anyone who is talking to you about business propositions is a solicitor, technically.
Okay, it's one of those things I've noticed over the years, which is different between the British and the Americans.
Yeah, we're two countries divided by the same language. You know.
Well, by similar language, I would say.
Well, yeah. Well, a similar language. Okay.
So where do we go? On the 26th of April, Germany was declared a vaccine and test-free zone. I didn't hear that. Maybe I missed that one because I'm more concentrated on international news than on German news. Because the German news it's so full of propaganda that you just can't listen to it. You know, I mean, every time I listen to it, I just shake my head and say, "Oh my God, you know, how can they get away with this?"
I do the same thing. I mean, I have to keep up with the current events, and I watch a little bit of CNN, a little bit of MSNBC, a little bit of Fox, a little bit of Newsmax, a little bit of OWN, and Right Side Broadcasting. And you know, I'm like the first few. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? You know, it's like misinformation, disinformation everywhere.
So where I am, I can of course see the BBC News as well because I get via Sky, the satellite TV. I get the British TV as well, and so I prepare the British news, which is a bit better than the German news in most ways. The German news is just so how would I put it? So absolution, you know, sort of as if only their way of thinking is the right way, and if you're thinking any other way, then you're a far right extremist. That's how they portray anybody who's thinking differently.
Sure.
You know, and we can't possibly be right. Yeah, and of course Macron won the election in Paris.
Right. Sure. That's why they're pelting him with tomatoes.
Yeah. So you know, we know that he didn't win, but
no,
I mean, it was on the TV.
They pulled the same trick.
They did the same thing as happened in the USA, where the numbers were actually showing Le Pen was winning, and then suddenly the numbers started going backwards for Le Pen.
Yeah, exactly. It was the same kind of thing. You saw it twice, once in 2020 and here again in 2022. We were all not
watching for that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, after this happened in the USA, I'm sure a lot of people in France were looking for exactly that. And it happened. They weren't disappointed.
Right.
Maybe they were disappointed.
Well, they were disappointed that Macron won, but they, you know, they're like, well, now we see it. Same thing happened, you know, and they were excited to see that. So now they got the goods on them. Yeah,
and I hear that they've been ripping out the internet cables, you know, the glass fiber cables in protest.
Yeah, they have. The internet's going down and whatnot in France. Yeah, they did.
So yeah, France is always a fun country. You know, there are people who don't take things lightly, and they're much more likely to go out on the streets and protest. But you know, on the other side, whenever I go to France, if you don't speak French, then you're a nobody sort of thing. You're treated badly. At least that was always my experience.
Yeah.
I found the best was to speak bad French, and then that's worse for them. And then they want you to speak English.
Right. Well, you know, in a little video that I saw, the ballots that were put together and given to people, they had them on a piece of paper, and you have to drop the piece of paper into the ballot box. And ones that had a rip in them were not counted, and the ones for Le Pen were already ripped at the bottom. Okay. And so they would not have been counted, but that was the official ballot that was sent to them, and it was pre-ripped. Yep, exactly.
Sounds like a rip-off to me.
It was a rip-off. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're in a strange world. I'm looking forward to when GESARA takes over and all this junk is over.
Oh, yeah.
And we get back to real news, having money in our pockets, and we can then run the Millionaires show or something.
Right. All right.
And then we can all sort of say, you know, all about our plans and how our plans are getting on, and how we're employing 50 people for our projects, and all the good we're doing for the world. You know, that sounds like fun to me.
That does sound like fun. All right, what else we got?
So let me see. I don't even know. I mean, I haven't even read this myself yet. So I just have to go through, and They're saying expect France to be on fire this weekend with riots spreading throughout Europe in weeks to come. Italy, Germany, UK, US, Canada, South America, Middle East, Greece, etc. Yeah, so I think people will start complaining all the more.
Oh yeah.
And I just found my extra light was not switched on. You may remember in older shows, I had a very purplish looking face. And that lies in the fact that the wallpaper in the room I'm in is unfortunately yellow, and I never replaced it with white. So when you get yellowish light going on yellowish wallpaper and that reflecting on me, that really messed up the color balance. So that's why I was looking a bit purple. So I've kind of added an extra ring light so that I can have a more natural looking face. At least I hope it's more natural looking now.
You're still just you're a little bit purple,
A little bit purple. Well,
a little bit purple.
I was quite a bit purple before, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I keep trying to improve this. This is my office at home, which is acting as a studio.
Makeup.
Right. Okay. So where are we going? Right, and Trump, appointed judge, announces he will block Biden from ending Title 42 at the border.
Right, that's a
I'm
big thing.
Sure
Title 42. Yeah, Title 42 has to do with the border crossings and whatnot, and remain in Mexico because of the pandemic. All right, that was something that Trump introduced and whatnot. That went against the, the narrative of, they're fine, bring them on over, and whatnot, and we'll just process them under comprehensive immigration reform, and we're trying to get this all taken care of. But Title 42 blocked that because of the pandemic, and they had to remain in Mexico. And they're trying to say, oh, well, the pandemic is over, and for all of these people that are coming up from, Mexico, from around the world, but wait a minute, the pandemic's not over for people who actually live in the United States.
Right.
What? What? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, does it?
Okay, let's move on. Apparently there's been mass arrests taking place in or throughout China on both sides of Chinese white and black hat Chinese families. A war has broken out. Both groups were attacking each other with killings and kidnappings. So it's getting very hot in China these days. And then here, now we've got wires, 3 days to steal the entire internet. The White Hats, military alliance, and Elon Musk have full technology in their possession to take over the current internet. This technology through Starlink has the full power to capture all internet, social media, emails, every website, everything on the current deep state internet. When activated, the Starlink command entrenches itself in every corner of the current internet, duplicates the entire system, and transfers all the data and control to the new system. That'll be fun.
That will be fun.
I will be really interested to see what happens to my websites. Now, my websites are all on, well, I have two places. I have my own web server, which is based in Strasbourg, run by a server hosting company, but I have exclusive use of the web server. And the other one is with Germany's largest web hosting company called Strato. That's where I have a lot of my other websites. And GESARA QFS was actually originally on Strato. And then when I found they were blocking me from using the improved emailing system, I moved the website to my other web server. So it's physically in Strasbourg, actually, which is just over the German border in France. So that's where the website is coming from, but it's in my control. So where were we? I think I don't even know what's in here. So well, I think we're going to skip the war. We know that, apparently Putin has cut off the natural gas to Europe. So that's going to be fun because the reserves
Bulgaria,
of natural gas
Poland,
are pretty low.
Yeah, in Bulgaria, Poland, and whatnot are in
there
Germany.
Are power stations which are fired by natural gas, people's heating. Okay, we're moving into summer, so maybe that won't be quite so bad. But anything which needs natural gas is going to be in deep trouble when there's no more gas available.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, who knows what will then happen? We'll get new technologies coming. And so let's see. So we're talking about the food crisis. I just don't think we've talked about that so often. And we've talked about COVID so many times. And, you know, I think we can skip the rest. There's something yellow here. Benjamin Fulford, where he's saying things look a lot worse from inside the USA because you still have this propaganda. The rest of the world looks like it is being liberated from these people who have been terrorizing the planet. It is coming to an end. That is what the Battle of Ukraine is really all about. And when you see the crowd in Davos and in Switzerland removed and the area around Lake Geneva cleaned up, I will make a bold prediction. It may well be that Joe Biden will be the last president of the United States, and Pope Francis will be the last pope of the Catholic Church. There's a thing also, I don't know if DeLise is here because we've got a bit on Israel. Benjamin Fulford is saying, fortunately, Israel has apparently broken with them, which is a very big thing. Okay, I won't go into more detail on that. And I think what I'll do is I'll post this intel, because we got 18 pages of intel here, and it's a bit much to read on a live show.
Right. Yeah.
So I think we'll stop it there, and we will move on to our Q&A, I think.
All right.
Unless you have something to say, Billy?
No, not really. You know, there's an awful lot of stuff that's going on. But let's get into the questions here. Ron West, go ahead.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Ron.
How are you doing? Okay, I'm going to be going on Birmingham, and yes, I've got a seat at the table in the evening as well, so I won't be joining you for that.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm going to talk today about the International Common Law Court.
Yes.
Yes.
They have been doing arrests around the world, and they arrested 3 significant people in the UK. But I found out today that they're doing lots of other things to help us all. In the UK, certainly, and across the world, because it is the International Common Law Court. So anybody in a Commonwealth country will be covered as well. But if you take the trouble to reaffirm your oath of allegiance to the Magna Carta, that takes an awful lot of pressure off you from other points of view. It takes you away from your straw man or your legal fiction completely. And you don't even answer letters that are addressed to your legal fiction anymore. So you don't get into people chasing you for money that is there. It's not theirs anyway, it's yours. Right. So especially things like, I'm helping elderly people to do this basically because they're really short of money now, having not had any pensions now increases for 2 years. And in order to help them, I'm getting to stop paying their council tax, their utilities, all under constitutional common law. So it's worth looking at if anybody wants any help. The guys that are doing it up in Aberdeen, it's John Smith and his wife or his partner, and I'm talking to them directly now because there is very few people down in the southeast. So it turns out that I have not found anybody else that studies in common law court as I've done, or the common law, a law of the land, as I've done. But please remember, guys, that the law of the land is the highest law in the land. So the laws of the sea or commercial laws of Admiralty and Maritime do not apply here anymore.
Right.
And that's what they're all working on, all the people in authority. And the other thing to remember is that the people in authority we're talking about are all our servants. They're all public servants, civil servants.
Right.
So they've assumed authority, but they haven't got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now they've got no money, nothing, and everything's moving across. We are in the ascendance again. Whether you want to be or not, you're going to be going through to live under under the common law court or constitutional common law court.
Right. Now, if I can ask a question, I'm based in Germany. And so do I have my common law rights in Germany? Can that be?
Do, because it's the law of the land. That's why it's international.
But you see, the courts here will not recognize it. They completely ignore anything, which goes.
We have an answer to that. It's called sedition. Denial of constitutional common law in any land is sedition. And the penalty for sedition is life in prison, and you lose all your assets.
Oh,
so
sounds good.
You can send notices from and I've got all the paperwork to do that. Could you? Yeah,
I would like to see that, because a friend of mine is going through that right now, and I've been helping as much as I could. But he got to the case. He went to court, and they totally ignored everything he'd said about.
Can I just stop you there, Peter?
Yeah.
One big mistake there. You said he's gone to court. Once you go into their court, you're in their jurisdiction. That's the trick they play.
Yeah.
So never go to court.
Never go to court.
Never go to court. No, never go to their court.
Right.
Because we have our own jury of 12 people. The jury of the people is what we're under now. We're not under any legislation. Any acts, statutes, or legislative laws don't apply to us anymore. But you must go into their jurisdiction. In other words, you mustn't even say you understand to a policeman, because you stand under him then. So
no, nothing like that. I mean, the guy was adamant that he was not there for his legal fiction. He was adamant that he was there as a human being and not. He made that very clear, and he told the judge, will you take this into account with your judgment? And the judge said yes, of course, but he didn't. He actually lied.
Absolutely, because a judge does. That's what he's doing there. A judge doesn't have any place in a court of law.
Right.
Talking about common law.
Right. So, Ron, can you?
This is the whole point of actually reaffirming your oath, because that produces an affidavit that you put before any court that draws you in. But first of all, you deny it. You dissenter against it. But once you've actually done the oath, you have an affidavit that actually proves who you are, and you stand under the Magna Carta or under the Constitution.
Okay, then now I have a question about that, because I have ordered these documents from the commonlawcourt.com. One of them is my common law birth certificate, and the other one is a certificate of that I own the rights to my legal fiction. Now, I haven't sworn any oaths, but I do have this document. Is that
right? If you have a look on the website in the common law court, they ask if you have taken the oath, because that becomes your power in this. Yeah, you stand with the common law of the land.
Yeah.
And the common law goes back to Genesis, do you?
To Genesis,
Yes, it does.
Okay, so long as you understand it, you must actually reaffirm your oath. Because
so how would I do that?
You can do it literally by filling in the form and sending it away. You send it back to yourself, actually. But if you register post it, that proves that you've actually stood and you get 3 signatures, 3 wet signatures, nothing to do with your family. Do it in red ink, and you're actually all the way there.
Yeah, it's what here in the United States, what he's talking about would be called a poor man's patent, where you actually send the document back to yourself in a sealed envelope with a postmark on it, and that is what is any patent that you would have, or anything like that. That is what is known as a poor man's patent or a poor man's oath. You know, but that's the United States version of it.
Okay, well, the same happens here, except when you send something registered post in the UK, you get a registered post receipt.
Yeah.
And that's dated, and by sending it registered post, you're not in anybody's jurisdiction except the post office. And the post office is the law at that time, where they deem to deliver that mail. So it doesn't matter where it's delivered to, it just shows it's proof that you've actually done that. And that's your proof, is the date and the time that you've got the registration certificate from the post office.
All right.
It's more expensive. It costs about £6 or £7 to send a letter registered post here. But I tell you, it's worth every penny because of the amount of money it saves you in not paying your utilities, your council tax, your whatever taxes. You don't pay any taxes at all. There are no taxes in common law. There's one law.
Okay. But I mean, if you don't pay your utilities, can't they just cut off your power or your water?
No, they're not. They don't have the means to do that, because you don't pay your utilities to the utility company. You pay your utilities to the person who put the meter in.
Right.
They are asking you for payment under false pretenses, because you can actually take that meter out and put your own in. Doesn't make any difference.
So
the difference is you won't get a bill because energy is free.
Okay.
All right. So Ron, if you would pass along the documents that you have to Peter and I through the website, and we'll get some of those things put up on the website. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, what I would love to do is do a special show with you, Rod West, on common law.
I actually did one last year with Nicholas Benjamin.
Yeah.
In 20th of May, if you look it up, it's on BitChute.
Okay.
But it's talking about the basis of why we're here.
Yeah.
Because in actual fact, it goes back to 2001, and it's not your 2001 era. It's when the invocation of the work that Tony Blair was doing, taking us into the European Union, foreign power, and giving our sovereignty away. The Baron stepped in and asked the Queen to hold it, and she didn't do that. Therefore, she broke her coronation oath. So all this about oaths.
Right.
As long as you've done yours, then you stand in good stead under the charter.
Right. So your stuff is Ron E. West at what now?
RonnieWest.com will find me.
RonEWest.com. Okay.
Yeah, if you, on there under contacts, you'll find my details.
Okay. And they can learn more about the common law and things of that nature and message you through there, correct?
Yes, I can tell them where to go to actually do things. And we're starting to do courses online now. So,
okay.
But please be aware that John is absolutely flooded out now with so much work that he needs help from anybody that's up in Scotland, for instance. He's based in Aberdeen, but they could do with some help actually administrating and all that at the moment, because he's done an incredible job. He opened this up in 2017 and it's just taken off like topsies, you can imagine. Yeah, he's now added a couple of things which I'll need to put in here. He's now got a common law currency. It's actually called the Cruin, which is CRUINN, like Quinn, but with CR on the front, yeah? That's a gold-backed currency that they use now. They're gradually going over to it. They also produce a passport, which is obviously an international passport, under constitutional common law again. So you're allowed, you're free to go wherever you like, whatever's going on.
And will that be recognised at the borders?
It is already. There's a guy in Poland that showed me yesterday, actually, on the after party. So there was it came up in the after party on last night. But I knew he was doing it, but I didn't know he'd actually done it by now. So I feel fine now. It takes about 6 weeks to get a passport. It's £100 for the first year, and then £50 a year from thereafter. Yeah.
Right. You know, when I fly to Birmingham, I was thinking of, instead of showing my passport, showing my common law card from the.
That's your ID. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think that would be? How do you think they'd react to that?
If you have an affidavit, that's the difference. You see, if you don't have the affidavit, you can't use this. The affidavit to the common law court.
Right.
So this was where everybody that saw John had done the International Common Law Court thought that that's all they had to do. But no, you still have to do the oath. The oath is very, very simple. It takes a few minutes and a postmark. That's all you need.
So the oath is you just fill in a form. Is there any specific text you have to put in this form, or?
Yes, oh definitely. I've got that. It's very, very simple. All you're saying is the government is treasonous, basically, and we know that. And it's all quotes various different things. But we now stand with the Magna Carta, which is the origin of the Great Charter. Basically, goes back to 1215.
Right.
That's not the time. That's the year.
Yes, I believe it. 1215. Yeah. And it's a fascinating topic. I think we should arrange a special on this at some point.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I hope I'm sure we'll be able to meet in Birmingham.
Yeah, there is a I put a request in, but you can never get through to Charlie or David Mahoney actually to do that, or even Nick now, because they're just so busy. But I would like to do that for the group anyway.
Yeah,
whether for the group, anybody's group, I don't mind.
Yeah, that's great. That would be great. I mean, I'm certainly very up for doing that as a topic.
Most definitely. All right, but thank you, Ron. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Take care.
Very fascinating. Yeah.
All right, and going on to Don.
I want to be a lot shorter than that. I just have a suggestion for Peter on your website, GESARA.
Yeah.
I was trying to find out how long my subscription was good for, because I couldn't remember if I went a week, a month, or what I did. You need to have a expiration under the profile instead of just a sign-up date. So just a suggestion.
I'm just trying to understand what it is exactly you're suggesting. I'll try and.
Well, they want to know when their subscription actually ends. If you could put that in the profile, an expiration date.
There is actually a place where you can find it. If you click on if you click on subscriptions, then it should tell you in red how long the subscription is. If you have a valid subscription.
No, I looked under all that stuff. I couldn't find it, Peter. So if it's there, then it's not easily found.
Well,
I went under profile and it said the date that I started, but it doesn't say expiration or anything on it. So just look at it, and if it works, it works. That's the only suggestion I had today.
I will have a look at. I was pretty sure that it does give the period, but I will test that.
Okay. But thank you, Don.
You.
Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
All right. Moving on, Sherry.
Hey, everybody. I know I've asked this question before, but I'm trying to get some clarity about it. Just as a reminder, I'm for my project, I'm collaborating with an existing nonprofit organization of veterans that serves veterans in my area.
Yes.
And part of the project, we will be building a community center and a community garden, things like that, and working on a food delivery service. So we'd have some vehicles. And the executive director that's working with me on the business plan and such, and the needs assessment, they're concerned about who would be owning the land, the vehicles, and the building. And I'm thinking the trust would, but can you address that a little bit? Could it be gifted to them in the future? I don't know.
The thing about it is the property and the buildings and everything, and I think I addressed this in a private message to you, before, is that who owns the property owns the property. Okay. And then whoever you set up, as far as trustees and your trust is concerned, would be, board members on the trust. All right. And that can include the owners of the property. All right. And whatnot. You're just funding the project. The trust wouldn't necessarily own the buildings or anything like that. You're just funding the project.
Well, now, if we buy the land, not to interrupt you, but if we buy the land and build the building, then that's what the plan is.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
That's why I'm asking. That's why the question is coming up. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear.
All right. So if you purchase the land under the trust, okay, and you're the grantor of the trust, then yes, the property would belong to the trust, and then you would have trustees who would look after the property. That would be correct.
could it ever be in the future gifted to the organization? So
You can do
someone
whatever
down the
you
line-
can do whatever you want to. Okay.
Oh,
As far-
okay.
all right. As far as ownership of the property is concerned, yes.
Okay, so I wasn't aware of that. And then they asked me and I didn't have a good answer. So I really appreciate that.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Sherry.
Okay.
Jack Pitleski. Hello, Jack.
What's going on? How are you guys today?
Where are you at on the road, Jack?
I'm not on the road today. I'm at home. It's my anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you, buddy.
Is your spouse with you there today?
Oh yeah, she's inside, but I'm outside enjoying this beautiful weather. You know.
All right. She
All
should
right.
be out there with you enjoying it as well. All right. So what's going on, Jack?
Well, they're still pushing this nuclear weapon narrative on MSNBC. That was this morning.
Yes.
And then Mahoney also is bringing it up along with Mark Z. They think there's going to be some kind of a nuclear false flag. Are you guys picking up on that at all?
Yeah,
Yes.
I am hearing this, but what I'm hearing is it will be in the news and things like that, but nothing will actually happen.
Right. It's just a big scare event.
It's a scare event to wake people up.
Trying
Because
to-
let's be honest, Putin is not going to start shooting at any weapons at people, or not nuclear weapons. He's going to be shooting his hypersonic weapons at weapons collect. You know, the West has been sending weapons to Ukraine, and then as soon as they put them in one warehouse, a hypersonic missile was sent and destroyed the whole lot, turned it into old metals and recycle. But he's not going to be starting any nuclear war. That's not what he wants to. He's part of the alliance, and Joe Biden may want to start a nuclear war, but he has no authority over the military.
Right.
Yeah, he only has authority over some private warriors or whatever, or and the three-letter agencies, but they don't have the weapons.
Let's put it into football terms. Okay. Joe Biden fumbled and we recovered. Okay. He doesn't have the football.
True. but we do have 9/11 in our background. So, a lot of people still remember that. Okay.
Absolutely. We all do.
Well, yeah, of course, and it will come down to a false flag, that comes in and everybody will get scared and whatnot, but then the truth will come out. All right.
But we tried the same thing back then when they did 9/11. Isn't that true? We were trying to push through gold back then.
Yes,
well, yeah,
it was
exactly.
announced that day.
NESARA was supposed to be announced that day. Okay. But then,
Wow.
they took down the Twin Towers and took down Building 7, which housed all the gold and everything down in the basement, and all the computers that held all the financial stuff was in Building 7. In the same day, the day before, Donald Rumsfeld announced that the Pentagon had lost like $2.3 trillion in funds and what happened? They said a plane crashed into the Pentagon. It wasn't a plane. There was no tail fin or wings or anything else ever found. All right. So they purposely hit that part of the building because it was the financial office for the Pentagon. So they couldn't follow up on anything because that was the part of the building that was hit.
That's right. And trillions of debt suddenly disappeared. Yeah.
Exactly.
So this is what I mean. Another big scare event just before our event is supposed to happen. I mean, you don't think they could actually pull it off, do you?
There'll be a scare event, but it'll be a scare more in the media, I think.
Right.
There may be minor things which happened, but you can be sure the alliance is not going to let any nuclear bombs. In fact, even the aliens are saying that they will prevent any nuclear weapons from being fired. So
right. Yeah.
That'll work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, have a great day.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay. Before you move
What?
on, Billy,
Yes.
can you give me the host for a sec? I want to show something.
Yeah, sure. In just a second. You have the con, Commander.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen, and there we go. So you should be able to see the subscription page on the website.
Yep.
Okay. Now this is my demo account. That's what I use to test all these kind of things. I'm constantly changing the configuration of the demo account just so I can test the various things. And I just got the demo account to subscribe for 1 week to the live recorded Dominos. And what happens when you have a subscription is this text appears. You are subscribed until Thursday, May the 5th, 2022, 12 a.m. So in other words, that is telling you how long your subscription is valid until. And whichever one you subscribe to, that's where the text will appear. So that is the answer to the question back then as to how do you find out how long subscription is valid. Just go to the script. You get here by clicking on the subscriptions button right here. So if I go to the normal index where all the page, click on subscriptions at the top. It takes you to this page. This is where you sign up. And the one you subscribed with, it tells you how long it's still valid. Okay,
Great.
I think that answers the question, doesn't it?
Yep, sure does.
Make host Billy Giles. There you go. There you go.
Giles. It's not Giles.
Gilles.
It's Scottish.
It's Scottish. McGillis. Yeah, okay. I thought Guinness was something to drink.
No. It's Gilles is the Scottish term. It's actually it's a Gaelic, and Gilles, and directly translated into English means servant of Christ.
Servant of Christ. Okay, fine.
That's exactly right.
So Gilles, right? Billy Gilles.
Right. All right. So Karen Doss. Hello, Karen.
Morning or afternoon. I have a couple quick things. I've been digging into the paperwork, and I found out it says soft link website that we should go to, and it says answer a few multiple choice questions, and then with that point you get an 800 number. Did you see that on the paperwork by any chance?
I would not do anything like that. After doing a deep dive into Ed of Ocala and the paperwork suggested and whatnot, I am not getting good feelings about that at all. Okay.
About the Skylink or SafeLink? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would not do anything with Skylink or SafeLink or anything like that, or put any of your personal information in that at all. I think Ed is stuck in the 3D reality of the current legal system. All right, and doesn't realize that we will be going from admiralty law to common law, which is a much different system. So I am recommending that the paperwork is a good basis to get you ready for business. Okay, to put you in the mind frame of of organizing and everything for your project and getting things put together. I think it's a good basis, but you do not need an EIN number because the IRS is closed down anyway. All right.
Yeah.
So don't even worry about an EIN number. Don't worry about signing anything or getting anything notarized. Okay. But the paperwork would put you in that business mind frame. Okay. Whether it is needed or not, is the question. All right. But it's better to be prepared than it is to go in empty-handed.
Yes, I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you guys are wonderful. I really thank you for everything you're doing. And I want to just say too, the Cell Web Being, that's that app. I absolutely love that. I'm putting it in all my water for all my plants and everything, and they are thriving. They're so happy. They're actually shining. They're shining. It's incredible.
Yeah. The more you use it, the more you love it. It's fantastic.
Yes, and your pets will love it too. Your pets, they'll run to it.
Yeah. Well, I have hummingbirds and they loved it. I could see how they were like going, oh, wow. When I first, changed their water with that, but it's like, it's so good. And I'm putting it in everything I drink and everything. And but I am like looking at the leaves on my plant and they literally are shining with light. It's like incredible.
That's right.
So
because the plants and everything are all suffering under these free radicals. And this works the other way around. It puts back the electrons which they're missing, and then they start really living again. It's great. If you spray your vegetables when you put them in the fridge or something, you'll find they will last much longer. They will stay fresh longer.
Yep.
Oh, I
sure
like
will.
that. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So that's all I had to say because I was worried about needing to know about that website SafeLink. So I don't need to worry and just have my paperwork prepared. So
yeah, exactly. Like I said, better to be prepared than not go in with anything. Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, I feel really organized now. So guys,
Right.
so much.
Thank you, Karen.
Absolutely, yes. And I was just admiring Sherry's dog. And she's just laughing. I'm wondering whether the dog has tried this water yet.
Yeah.
Well, I
All right,
think she
Nancy.
will get some after what I just heard. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right, thank you, Sherry.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Billy. Hi, Peter. So,
hi, Nancy.
A few questions here. So, regarding the ZIMS and projects, is it either like a black and white situation, meaning you either oversee a project or you don't? Because I'm still evaluating all options. And in any case, I definitely want to fund a project. But say, for example, for someone who has ZIMS, and let's say they don't fund a project, then I looked at the videos and the chart that had some of this information, but I still couldn't figure out if you have ZIMS and you don't fund a project, like the 1 trillion note, okay, you have that, but you don't fund the project, what is the personal payout?
Right. No, wait a minute. I think, didn't you write me a message on an email?
Yes,
you did. Yeah. I've just been so overloaded in emails.
I understand.
Questions and getting ready. I'm way behind on answering emails. There must be about 50 people waiting for replies from me by now. But I did see that. And one of the things I noticed in your email was you got a couple of things wrong. You were talking about 1 trillion SIM. Okay. Now 1 trillion is about $300,000. It's 100 trillion SIM, which gives you the 30 million.
Okay, and I don't have it right in front of me. I think it's the 100 trillion. I don't have it right in front of me.
Well, you wrote that you had a $1 trillion.
Yeah. I'm hoping that I have the 100 trillion. So let's say the 100 trillion.
Okay, yeah, because that was one thing I wanted to point out. So I might as well tell you now that 1 trillion is not going to get you so far. To
100 trillion, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So as to the projects, now, I mean, obviously, what they say at the meeting is what is important, not what I say. As I understand it, you have the choice of running your own project, which I think they would prefer because they need people to do the work. The whole point of the system is they provide money so that we do the work to repair the world. And I don't think they're too keen on people just taking the money and running. But if we can show that we are taking some responsibility, even if it's just I'm going to add my part of the money into another project. And I think they will have lists of projects from what I'm hearing. But they want to see at least that you want to do more than just take the money and disappear.
Absolutely. And I do.
Yeah.
Right. So there's different ways of looking at this. Okay. There are, you can be a grantor of a trust, okay, who is an administrator who overlooks projects and things of that nature. But then you have the actual project managers who do all the legwork, all right, in order to get things done. Depending on the scope and size of your project, you're going to need carpenters, you're going to need plumbers, you're going to need people to work with logistics and things of that nature. And not everybody has all of that stuff in their heads. It's going to take a team of people in order to put things together. All right. And somebody has to overlook all of that type of stuff, okay, and say, okay, you need X amount of dollars in order to get this done. You in this portion over here needs X amount of dollars to get this done, that type of thing, okay. And you become more of an administrator than actually doing the boots on the ground type of thing.
So you've got to imagine that you're Nancy Musk and you're a multi-billionaire, but he doesn't do all the work. He has people who does the work for him. All he's doing is deciding what is done and says, okay, you go and build a phone, you go and build a car, you go and build a spaceship. And so you
go and build a med bed.
That's right, yeah. so Elon Musk is not doing all the work. He is organizing, he's like at the top, he's organizing and arranging what he wants to do. But he has his staff who actually does the work. And I think this is kind of how you can imagine it being, that you delegate, you say, make out what you want to do, get the experts to help you so it's done properly. But that would be a way of getting things done. Because a lot of people are followers, not leaders.
Right.
Right. And at the same time, I know there's a lot of people who have started something and they have this, they've done all the work and they know what they need, money for this, money for that, blah, 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 blah. But they don't have the money, but they've got the plans already. And so, I mean, that would be something. So Billy, you're saying, I could be a grantor of a trust for that. It's getting hooked up with certain.
That's right. You could go out and find these people who have these plans and things, and say that you're working with them, and that would work. I should think.
Right, and then you make them a board member of your trust. Okay, and then you disseminate from there. It like I said, it's going to take a team. All right, of people in order to put things together.
Yeah, I always got the impression that what they're looking for are people like you described, people who've got done all the preparation work, they've got the plans, and all that they're missing is the money. Mm-hmm. And then, so that they can say, okay, here's the money you need. Now you can do what you've been dreaming of doing.
Yeah, because I definitely want to contribute to creating New Earth. I have zero experience in heading anything up like this and putting something together. So anyway,
just find a team of people. Okay.
Okay. That's and another question is, when looking for other currencies like dong, I've gotten what currency I've gotten from eBay, but certain kinds of currencies are getting a little slim on eBay. So do you have any other suggestions of sources to find currency? Yeah. And is it better to get circulated or uncirculated currency?
Well, I know I talked to my brother about this. My brother's based in near Orlando, and he just went to the airport. And he actually said he got a better exchange rate than he was getting on eBay. In fact, he even was going as far, or was thinking of going as far, I don't know if he did it or not, of buying more currency from the exchange place at the airport and then selling it on eBay, because he could make a profit that way.
Oh.
All right, and there's also, if you're not close to an international airport, I bought my stuff from GreatAmericanCoinCompany.com. Now, on their website, and Peter alerted me to this a little bit earlier today, they do have a thing that says, please note, Great American Coin Company is not selling the Vietnamese dong on a speculation basis. We are a purveyor of numismatic collectibles, and as such, we are selling the dong as a collectible only. In regards to a global revaluation, or RV, of international currencies versus the US dollar, the Great American Coin Company has seen no evidence indicating that this is in any way genuine. It is the position of Great American Coin Company that, with the exceptions of normal currency fluctuations, that no global revaluation of currencies will occur. Now, they're putting this up there just to cover their butts legally in the admiralty law world. Okay. Is it better to have circulated or uncirculated? Does not matter. Okay. The only you can buy the dinar, the dong, the bolivar, things of that nature, at the current, whatever price that they have on the website. The only thing that we do stipulate is that the Zim needs to be the 2008 AA series note. All right. And whenever we say note, okay, that piece, the Zim 2008 AA, all right, is not actually currency. It is what is known as a bearer bond. Okay. All right. That can be exchanged at a later time when it's revalued. All right. It is known as a bearer bond. Okay. So just clarification and definition. Does that make sense, Nancy?
Excellent. Thank you, Peter and Billy.
All
You're
right.
welcome.
Thank you very much. Holly Sheets. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Very good.
We're great. Where are you based, Holly?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania. Okay. Where
Yeah,
the Amish people are, yeah?
Yeah.
Very close, very
Yeah.
close. But I think Amish are everywhere.
Mm.
Although I think I should be Amish today. I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah. Are you close to Greenburgh, where President Trump is going to be holding his rally?
I heard he's coming to the Pittsburgh area.
Not Pittsburgh. It's Greensburg, I think it is, or just outside of Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, just outside of Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if he'll be there, I'll be there. So
Okay,
anyway,
great.
Billy, what the reason for my question was, and you just touched on it, I had a meltdown yesterday with the after party because when I checked my Zim notes, they were a 2008 ZA.
Hey.
So I went to the Great American Coin Company and I purchased a 2008 AA uncirculated.
Right.
But as you said, then as I scroll down, they have, and they all say banknotes,
Right.
but they also have AA 2008 banknotes. And it doesn't say, it just says they're not circulated.
Right. Yeah. And that's what it
But
needs
which
to
is the
be.
bearer bond?
Same thing. Same thing. Okay. It's terminology. It's Caribbean versus Caribbean, tomato versus tomato. All right. It's the same thing, just called something different on the website. A note, all right, versus bearer bond. Okay. Same thing.
Because they really vary in price from 379 all the way up to 777.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. That's because everybody's been buying them, and in the law of supply and demand. Okay. The less supply you have, the more demand you have, the higher the price goes.
So just so that I have the right one, do I want the banknote or that's $777, or is the 2008 AA series uncirculated?
I would go for the 2008 AA uncirculated.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, everything just got scrambled for me and I thought, oh dear.
No, it's the 2008 AA series. All right. Circulated or uncirculated, it does not matter.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, Holly. Hello, Sujata.
There's mine.
Yep.
Hi,
Yep.
I'm in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I'm near Fenway Park. And for
Uh-huh.
you sports lovers, the Boston Red Sox are in season here, and there's no more masks and no more social distancing.
The same thing with the St. Louis Cardinals and the St. Louis Blues hockey team. We are rivals.
There are those Cardinals again. You know, I thought the Cardinals were birds. Now your birds are playing hockey.
No, baseball.
Oh, baseball. Okay.
Baseball Cardinals. Okay. And you know, the Blues are hockey. Okay.
Yeah, but the last time we had this conversation, I was talking about Cardinals as in religious people, and you were talking about Cardinals being birds. And now you're
and
saying
then we
that
digressed into Cardinals being baseball players and football players.
so you have birds in robes playing baseball
And football.
and football.
But that's in Arizona
What
now.
a weird country you have over there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. All right. Sujata, what you got for us today?
Okay, so I heard a piece of intel from Sherry Ray on BitChute, and I wanted to see if you had heard anything about this. So she says that there were several assassination attempts made on President Donald Trump over the past couple of weeks.
Yes.
That he was at the Cheyenne Mountain Space Force Station near Colorado Springs. That the cabal shot him and he was revived with ET technology, and that he will not be seen in the near future at public events because of this threat. And he will have his clones or actors for doing live events.
We have seen evidence of that in the past rallies where it was not President Trump at the rallies. Okay.
And it was noticeable as well. I mean,
it was a body double. Okay. Playing him, somebody either in a mask or somebody that looks close to him. He also has a body double that goes out and plays golf down at Mar-a-Lago a lot. And they're trying to keep him out of the public eye so that nothing happens to him in the public eye. Those reports, I have seen them. All right. I'm kind of suspicious about them, but I do know that they are using body doubles for President Trump when he's out live somewhere.
And Biden as well.
Well, yeah, Biden doesn't even look anything like the guy who was.
No. Like I said, I think there's 4 actors playing him at this point. James Woods, John Voight, and Jim Carrey are 3 of the notables. There's one obscure actor that also plays him.
So have you heard anything? Was President Trump, was he actually badly hurt?
That is what the report says. I have no confirmation of it from anywhere else that I've seen. Could it be true? Yes, it could be. Okay.
There's certainly been a lot of assassination attempts.
Yes.
I'm pretty surprised that he's actually survived this long, to be honest.
Right. And the most notable one was the plane malfunction where he had to make an emergency landing in Louisiana a few weeks ago.
A lot of people don't like that guy.
Okay.
I have heard on this ET technology on the Gaia channel. Michael Jaco had done an interview that when he was in the secret space program, he had whole parts of his body blown off and were regenerated.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
I'd love to have my left foot back.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, we know that technology is coming. All right. We've seen evidence of it, and Peter's done a great job in following up with the med bed stuff. So yeah, we know it's coming. It's just a matter of when at this point, not if. All right. All right. Thank you, Sujata. Appreciate it. Gina, go ahead and unmute, dear. Gina Funero. There she is.
Hi, guys. I was listening to Peter talk about common law earlier.
Yes.
And my question is, when GESARA kicks in, won't we have that automatically anyway without having to go through that whole process?
Well, that's probably going to be the case, but we're not there yet.
Right.
And we were talking about cases that are happening now, as opposed to what will happen when GESARA and NESARA kicks in. So for now, yes, you should do these oaths and stuff. I think
right, and we're all speculating on the dates of all this is going to happen. Okay,
right.
When it actually happens is in God's time. All right, not in our time. So if you feel it is necessary for you to go through all of that and take the oath and do the paperwork that Ron suggests, please do. Okay, if it resonates with you. All right. But right now we're just speculating on what's happening based on the intel that we're getting.
That's right.
Okay.
I don't object to filling in a form and sending it to myself if that's what I need to do to do my oath. That's simple.
Right.
I just thought we were really close to NESARA and GESARA actually. And then the other thing was,
the thing is, we've been saying that we're really close for a year now.
Right.
And we will, it won't happen until it actually happens. And we're all thinking it's happening similar. We're always hearing these stories that it's about to happen. But until it actually does happen, then I think we'll all be shocked when it does, to be honest.
Right. And, we're playing the chess game right now, and we're doing the 5-dimensional chess. All right. And whenever we're doing that, we have to still play the game on the 3D level as if nothing is going to happen. All right. But then you have to raise yourself up to that 5D level in order to break free of everything. Does that make sense?
It does. I just had some concerns because if you take yourself out of the matrix or whatever that we're in, which we need to do, I agree with, then you're not paying taxes, you're not contributing towards like police and ambulance and all that. So are they still going to service you if you're not part of paying any of their salaries at that point?
They have to service you.
Okay.
Because you've already paid into the system.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Where do we find the documents, the additional documents that you say that we're needing from the Ed Ocala video, like the background info we need to fill out, or is that on the NESARA site?
Did you put any of that documentation on the website there?
I didn't actually find them. Did you send them to me or?
No, I'll send them to you.
So if you send it, they never got to me. So that's why I didn't put them on the site.
All right.
So can you make sure that you can send them to me and I'll upload them?
Yeah, and on the Telegram channel, I'll list the. Let me see if I can do this real quick.
Just one more quick question while you're looking. So I've been trying to do some projects on my own, and they haven't been working out very well. So I was like the lady earlier before. If we go to the appointment, I heard you talk before that you think they might have a list that we can contribute to.
Yeah, that is being discussed. That when you go to the appointment, that you can then say, they'll have a list of projects, and you say, well, I would like to support this one.
Okay, good, because I want something, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I have no guarantee that will happen. It's just what we're hearing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. So let me do this. Docs for currency. Okay, I'm posting this in. This is a Telegram link. Okay, to the documents on the Telegram channel. Okay.
Right, what you just posted now. Okay.
All right. So you'll have to join, but that's where you'll find all the documents. Like I said, the documentation that Ed is suggesting is a good basis to get you into that business mind frame. All right. I don't think it's all necessary. Don't go out and get an EIN number. Don't go out and get everything notarized or whatnot, but go through all the paperwork and see what resonates with you. It's just to help you get into that business mind frame. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Gina. Donna.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good.
Hi, Donna.
Hey, Peter, I just want to let you know I love your sense of humor. I think you're funny.
Yeah,
really
okay.
Awesome. I have just wanted to let you know about the Michael Jackson deal. I watched this wonderful prophet on Elijah Streams on YouTube. Her name's Kat Kerr with K's, and she said she's visited heaven several times and has seen Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and Robin Williams there, which is pretty interesting.
So what she's saying is that they are already in heaven, that they're not still alive.
Correct.
Okay.
And yeah, that's kind of fun. And I had a question about the
was he doing a moonwalk there or?
Well, she said that before he died, he gave himself back to Christ. And that was how he got in. Also, that Whitney Houston, God wrote a song for her, and she sang it in heaven.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Amazing.
I mean, with Elvis Presley, a good friend of mine, James Corley, is one of America's best Elvis impersonators. And he has worked with all of the people which Elvis sung with, who are still alive.
Wow.
And he's talked to them all, and he is convinced that Elvis is not still with us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I can ask her that one day. You can send emails. She doesn't do live questions like you all do.
Oh, come on. Elvis didn't die. He just went home.
Well, that's wrong.
No doubt.
Can you email at heaven.com or something?
Oh, yeah. It's called revealingheaven.com.
Revealingheaven.com.
Okay, all right.
Right, she's amazing. She talks all about heaven, what it is, your pets go there, what it's like. Says it's total fun.
All right.
It's so much
we'll
fun.
we'll have to see. Okay.
Yeah. And regarding when going in into the Redemption Center, you mentioned that Paladians may be in the room.
Yep.
And I heard I listened to a radio show where Corey Good was on it with these sisters. I think there are two sisters. And I thought he mentioned something about Orion and that the Paladians were related with, I don't know what Orion is, but
Orion is the
the constellation in the heavens.
People who watch Star Trek know Orion. They have wonderful green painted girls. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was like a project or something. Maybe,
right. Okay.
I may have gotten the project name wrong, but aren't they part of the bad team? The Paladians?
Orion could be part, but the Paladians are on the good team. That's for sure.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, 100%. Right.
Yeah.
Palladians, Arturians, and there's a couple of others that I've heard of.
Whereas Orions, I'm not too sure about.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I may have gotten that wrong. And then the last thing I wanted to ask is about my project. Doing a compound, so to speak, similar to Billy, where we house the homeless. And I wanted to find out if we are to not, I heard in a previous show, we're not to charge them rent because it's a humanitarian effort.
Right. Well, what you do is you do it on the barter system. Okay. You find out what their skill sets are. All right. Or you teach them a skill set and they go out into the community and they take their skills and they work on projects within the community, whether it be carpentry, plumbing, and I digress here. But you send them out and you say, I will help you and I will pay you in order to do these projects for humanity and not charge you rent. Okay. And, you just find out and you teach people life skills, okay, that they can use throughout their entire life.
Absolutely. And what if they refuse?
Then that's on them.
Do they leave the compound?
You can leave it. You can leave at any time. There is no pressure for you to stay, but then then you're on your own.
Not me, the homeless person, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. You put into the thing. You just say, look, we're doing this on a faith-based operation to glorify God. All right. You are welcome to join us. All right. And if you decide to leave, you can leave at any time. There's no pressure for you to stay. If you feel like this isn't for you, then that's great. Go ahead. And we wish you well on your journey.
Can I demand that the qualifier be that they work for the compound?
Well, they have to contribute somehow. Yes.
Contribute.
People are used to, doing things for something. I mean, people will feel awkward if you say you can live here and you don't have to do anything.
Right.
Then they'll think it's charity and they haven't earned it and they're worthless. Whereas if you say, look, we need people to do a certain projects and we have to do this work. And I understand you haven't got somewhere to live. So let's come to a deal. If you work for us on this project, we will give you somewhere to live. Right. And that's something people will accept much better. And
let's get away from the word compound. Okay, that sounds like it
does sound a bit like military, or
yeah, it sounds too militaristic and too you have to stay on the compound, type of thing. I would just say we would like for you to join our community,
or a holiday camp, or
whatever else,
whatever you like to call it.
Yeah, just
the GESARA camp.
Yeah, just try to get away from that word compound. I think it's a little bit too
community. I like that.
Yeah, because you'll be charging compound interest after that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Okay, but thank you, Donna.
You're welcome. One last mention. I'm so sorry. Also, I heard that there may be the sun burst coming where we may
the solar flares.
The solar flare, yes.
Solar flares. And so I wanted to also have in the community have people create items that will work without electricity.
Well, teach them how to use the Tesla technology and how to create things that will benefit mankind. Sure.
Okay, right on. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, Billy. You were asking about the EAN number. Now, for us Europeans, this is highly confusing because over here in Europe, EAN number means European article number. It's used for barcodes. So what is the American EAN?
EIN.
EIN. Okay.
Right. Employee identification number.
Employee identification number.
Employer identification number. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, but that's what that is. Okay.
So it's EIN, not EAN.
Right. So instead of using a social security number, a business identification would be an employer identification number. Okay.
Yeah, when I was setting up my microscope business which I did in Las Vegas, now I was being asked for a social security number. Of course, not being American, I don't have one.
Right.
So I was actually given an American business social security number in order to do the business, but that's only really related to the business, not to me as a person.
Right. And there are different things that you could apply for from coming outside of the United States or being inside of the United States and being a quote unquote citizen of the United States.
Yeah.
There are several different things that you can get regarding that. All right. But anyway, Miranda, hello.
Hello.
Hello. I've got an email that I received today. My daughter forwarded it to me because she and I both work with my son on. He's got an online e-commerce site, and one of the payment processors we use. It used to be called SagePay, then it changed to Opayo, and now it's changed to Elavon. Anyway, they said, we're writing to let you know that from the 1st of May, we will be updating our billing systems and accounts to reflect the transfer of our UK Opayo business to the UK branch of our parent company, Elavon Financial Services. Then it just says nothing else will change. It says except the account name will change. And it also says, for direct debit and SEPA, that's SEPA customers, you don't have to make any changes. Our team will stay in touch over the next few months to ensure that this transition is seamless for you. And I haven't read it yet, but the terms and conditions, they give a link to that. And I was just wondering, because what do you think? Is this the change to the good guys? Or is it the bad guys still trying to hang on to the fiat system and fiat money?
It's very hard to say because without knowing the companies directly, there is still a kind of battle because the bad guys want to hold on to their system and the good guys are pushing through the thing. So it's a lot of back and forth at the moment, which is why it's been taking so long, because there's been so much fight back from the bad guys.
Right. We have seen this type of thing come across here in the United States from banks that have been merging and things of that nature in the past couple of months. And I've also seen my own current bank do the same thing in saying we are shutting down to update our services and things of that nature will be closed from this date to that date and whatnot. We don't know exactly what's going on, but that could all be, coming into play where they're smaller banks or.
As it was the 1st of May, I thought that was very, I mean, it could.
Yes,
that's right. Yes, it could very well be because we're all hearing dates around the 1st of May.
Right.
And I think it may only be delayed to the 5th due to these 3 countries, which are not quite there yet. But I definitely expect May to be our month.
Peter, I didn't hear that. I heard that 1st of May was definitely the date for the RV worldwide. Yeah. And the 5th of May was the red, what do they call it? Red letter.
Red letter day, yes.
Right. We've heard that as well. Okay. But these are all speculative. Again, we have to go with the thing of it's in God's time, not man's time. And dates could be thrown around just to throw the black hats off. Okay.
Yeah. And one other small point again, which was unusual. My daughter, she looks after paying our electricity bills and everything for the property we live in, which is rented. And yesterday she said, "Oh, I've got something nice for you." She messaged me. She said, "We've had a £150 electricity rebate and everybody's getting it." Now, I don't know by everybody, was it just our county or everything? But it was very unusual to have that.
Well, maybe you just overpaid and you use it as electricity.
All right. Now, sometimes what will happen is a public utility will garner too much money. All right. And they will have to pay it back to the customers if they make too much money within a certain period of time, because it's a public utility and they're not, and it's like paying back dividends to their shareholders. Public utilities cannot make a general profit, okay, overall. All right.
Well, she said also that I didn't actually see the thing. I need to ask her, but she said that they said it was a sort of present to everybody due to make up for the recent the electricity price going so much higher.
Right.
So it just seemed rather weird to me, and I just thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if this is?
It could be, I don't know for sure because I'm not familiar with that company that you're working with, but like I said, I've seen utility companies do that in the past because they're not allowed to make the profits as a private company would, because they are a public utility. Okay.
So maybe it was that they were caught out making big profits and had to act quickly.
For what it's worth, I just got a letter back from my power company also giving me money back.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I need to ask.
It wasn't a massive amount. I think it's 188 euros, but it's much better than paying them extra.
Ours was £150.
It's about the same, isn't it? About the same.
Yeah. Okay. But thank you, Miranda. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Hello, DeLise. Are you still over in Israel?
She's
here, yeah. Hi, how are you all?
Good. Good.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
At the moment, a little bit of a connection. Okay. Nice to see you all, and thanks
Nice to see
again. I just want to have a couple of questions. Nice to see you. The background info that you're talking about, I looked on Telegram. How do I get into that? Because I'm not able to get in. Where are these documents?
All right, I'll post it again in the chat room here.
Okay.
All right, and that's the link in order to find the documents. Okay.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. And then I wanted to know, in the when we make the appointments for the meetings, how are we going to know who is going to meet us and how we'll recognize them and how they'll recognize us.
You'll get a phone number to call or a website to visit. You'll make your appointment, and you'll be told where to go. So you go to wherever it is. It could be a bank, it could be a military base, wherever it is. You go there, and then obviously you'll be met at the reception, and they'll take you to who you have to talk to. It's quite a normal thing, yeah.
Okay, I understood that maybe it was you wouldn't be given an address for a place, but you might meet somewhere at some rendezvous point.
No, I think they'll be sending you to either a bank or a military base.
Yeah, it'll be a secure location of some sort.
That's right. It'll be secure.
It won't publicly be announced where it is, but you'll know whenever you make your.
Well, there'll be so many of them. It's going to be different for each person now.
Okay.
Okay. And will the usual ATM machines be working after this happens?
I'm hearing that ATM machines are being exchanged because the new banknotes are going to be different sizes and different denominations. So the ATMs are being adjusted to work with the new currencies.
Okay.
But I think it's a matter of just pulling out a cartridge system and just plugging in the next one.
Okay, all right. And I see on a list here that you're requiring background checks. I have background checks, but they're not because I have to have them for my work.
Don't worry about getting background checks in advance. Okay, your appointment team will do all that. Okay.
Okay, then
they'll probably know you better than you know yourselves when you get there.
Okay.
Okay. Especially with Palladians and Arturians there. They're going to be able to, they'll know you. Okay.
Say that again. I didn't hear.
You'll be shocked at how well the Paladians know you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Thank you, DeLise.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah. Madie.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Good.
So I love that you do this. I think I have a project that I think qualifies, but I'd kind of like to go over it with you guys just to be clear, to make sure I'm on the right track here.
Mm-hmm.
I own 25% of a business that owns 102 acres of multi-use property. We've got B&Bs and restaurants and stores that are mostly artisans, meaning they do their own craft.
Yeah.
But there have been 4 fires over the course of several years. I used to just be a store owner there. But due to, family passing away and stuff, I had an inheritance, and some friends of mine were owners and they got in trouble and they were being foreclosed on. So they took on partners. So I became one of the partners, and I happen to own one of the largest shares. Well, there's one man and all us 6 women are over 60, and some of them want out. So my project is to buy them out and rebuild. We lost over 100 buildings, 100 businesses, 100 entrepreneurs. So I wanted to buy them out because I want out, and I don't want any partners anymore, to be honest with you. But and I bought enough Zim to where if they say you can't do this, because one of my issues that I didn't think about at the time was, how do you, when you've got 6 and 7 partners, how do you divide that up to the next, how do you will that to your children? It would be horrible. It'd be a nightmare. So that's another reason we need to have just one owner. So would this qualify? It would be, providing new jobs. I mean, building 100 plus buildings, 100 businesses. And then I would bring in speakers like once a month to train on how to better their marketing skills and blah, 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 business things. And then,
all right. So let me ask you this question. All right. Is this more of a business, or is this a humanitarian project? Because if it's a business, you would do the business under the auspices of to making a profit. All right. Under your personal funds, where a humanitarian project is actually helping the community in doing things in order to help the community versus being a for-profit organization.
Well, and okay, so it's very complicated, and that's what I'm wanting to hear. So if property taxes remain, it helps the community in that we, we have to pay taxes on the buildings. So it would help the community tremendously with that. But there's also the construction costs, all the infrastructure and the rebuilding provides jobs for several years into the future. But for the artisans themselves and the entrepreneurs, I was going to lower their current rent so that it helps them.
All right. Well, building a community and starting businesses and whatnot, and helping to start businesses in order to keep the community running would be considered a humanitarian project. All right. Now, the question is it going to be just you running the business, or is it going to be a team of people running the business in order to keep the thing up and running? Now, whenever you're talking about taxes, your taxes are going to go bye-bye. All right.
Even property taxes?
Even property taxes. Okay. There's going to be no income tax, no property tax or anything like that. The only thing that we've heard about is that there's going to be a 17% sales tax on non-essential new items. Okay.
Okay. And so art pieces would be non-essential new products.
That is correct.
So the artisans would be, and they're responsible for their own.
Right.
But, okay. So in that regard, wouldn't that be humanitarian? I mean, if I'm giving them, a free, like my store that I had living quarters up above it, and because it's an hour junket. To start it all up would be humanitarian. To keep it running and running it as a profitable business, okay, would not. Okay, so does that mean it would probably?
I think it would be a good startup project as a humanitarian thing to get the community running, but then you're going to have to be self-sustainable for the future after that.
Right. Well, so this is it's part of First Money Trade Days, which is one of the largest flea markets in the world. So we're only open one weekend a month, and we have tremendous parking where we bring in. My goal was to contribute anywhere from 1% to 10% of the parking to all those the president had those lists of 15 different areas, and in those areas there were sub
all right
projects.
So Madie, I think you're confusing
project every month.
I think you're confusing humanitarian and business propositions. Okay, you have to separate the two. Is it going to be a for-profit business, or is it going to be something to help mankind?
Well, can it be both? Somebody said you could do
I put it together and see what they say. But you have to remember, there is a difference in between mankind projects, special projects to help out everyone, okay, that would be given away for free, and starting up a for-profit business. All right.
Okay.
But put the proposal together and see what they have to say. I would not know for sure. Okay.
Okay. And I had another question. Let me make sure we touched it. I guess we got it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye,
going to Pete. Pete Curtis.
I was going to say,
hello, gentlemen, how are you?
Pete Curtis.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, go ahead, Pete.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Just about.
Okay. I do.
All right, Pete, sounds like we got a
Listen,
bad connection.
I had two questions. It's just Wi-Fi, using that. How about now?
Go ahead with your question.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bad line, but we're trying to understand you.
Okay, I'll slow down here. My question is, I know that over time we have discussed stretching your project out to as much as 100 years, if I'm correct.
Yes.
I guess my difficulty that I'm having is when I'm forecasting the project cost, how in the world do you forecast salary?
Well, you base it off the current construct of today's prices, okay? And you say, all right, how much you want to pay an individual during the course of a year, all right? And then you just multiply that out, okay? How many people is it going to take to do your project? How much do you want to pay them per year? And, you know, is it going to grow from there? Probably so. All right. But you say you may have to come back and revisit it at a future date. So you say, let's fund it for 25 years, and then let's come back and revisit it after we've had it up and running for 25 years.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I guess what was confusing me, and that
I didn't understand any of that. It was
sorry.
Zims.
Pete, I'm sorry. We're going to have to let you go. We got a very bad connection here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hardly understand anything you're saying, unfortunately.
All right. But thank you. If you'd like more information, come to the website, the forum, or one of our Telegram channels, and we'll be able to answer your questions there. Okay.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, I have a problem. I've probably got about 50 emails still waiting to be answered, simply because I'm getting so inundated. Now, it's one thing for people saying, "Oh, I've got this technical problem with the forum," and I can quickly answer it. But I'm getting people who are asking me questions which like take an hour of my time, just for one email, and I don't have that kind of time.
Right. We if you want, we don't have the time to go through each and every one of your proposals and proofread them. Okay. Yeah. What we suggest is, if you know somebody in your own community, a trusted friend or somebody like that, go and have them proofread it and ask it, or do a mock presentation to them and ask them if they got the vision in your head of what you said to them. Or
post your question in the forum, and then more than one. Then it's not just me answering it. It could be anybody who knows about this who can answer it. A more community answering your questions. But as I say, I've just been seeing so many questions, which, if I was to answer them properly, I wouldn't be able to do the show. I wouldn't be able to go to bed. I wouldn't be able to release the videos. I'd just be answering the questions.
All right. But anyway, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the name. It says LJSCH.
Linda Schmidt.
Hello, Linda.
Hello. So I have a couple of different questions.
Yes.
How is the QFC going to affect credit unions?
The QFS?
Yeah. What did I say? QFC?
QFC. All right.
Yeah.
How is it going to, it depends on your credit union. Okay.
Oh.
And whether they're set up, I don't know who you bank with or what have you.
Yeah. Okay.
The future of banking is all going to change. We don't know who's going to be left and who's going to go bye-bye. All we know for sure is there, who's the one, the US, or who is the one over in London? Peter.
Which one?
Yeah. I mean, Wells Fargo here in the United States, we know for sure. Okay.
Yeah. HSBC, I think, is the international one.
Yeah, HSBC. And then we've also heard recently that Bank of America may be folded into that as well. All right. But the smaller individual credit unions locally, we don't know about as yet. Okay.
Okay.
A lot of banks are going to be closing, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So if you have, like I have an account with Wells Fargo, so if I go in to, for my appointment, will they give me a whole new account, or will I keep the account that I have.
This is all speculation because we don't really know how the banks are going to react. We can only guess, but it doesn't mean that our guesses are correct. We do know that a lot of banks will be closing. A lot of banks will turn into like help centers, you know, where they give you advice on using your bank. So you have a local branch where they advise you, but they don't actually control the money. There are all kinds of stories we're hearing. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to have to wait and find out how it will be. It could be way beyond our current imagination because it's a completely different system.
Okay.
Well, I have another question, or kind of wanted to let you know about my project, if it is a project. I am passionate about people that don't have dental insurance, you know, which that could be widows, widowers, people on disability, people on Medicare that don't have dental insurance. And so that is what I would like to do, is provide dental care and medical care that isn't covered by Medicare.
I don't think that'll be necessary in future because insurance is going out the window. I think a lot of insurance companies will disappear because it won't be necessary. Dental insurance is to pay the cost of medical care at the dentist. Well, medical care with the medbeds is going to be free. So why do you need the insurance? Also,
and the medbed technology is going to be able to take care of a lot of that anyway.
That's right. So people will soon, give it a year or two for them to clear the backlog, but then people will no longer have disabilities. They will no longer have dental issues. That's all going to disappear. So what you're describing is something which would only be the short term at best.
So that really wouldn't be something that you would want to do then?
I don't think it's going to have a future because you only need insurance when you're having to pay for the treatment. When the treatment is free, what do you need insurance for?
Yeah.
True.
Okay. But again, when we release the 6,000 technologies and the med beds come out and things of that nature, a lot of these physical ailment stuffs in people thinking that you're still going to need hospitals and dentists and things of that nature is probably all going to go bye-bye. Okay. So
okay. So then the need for medications is not going to be there either then.
No. Medication is basically just poisoning you. You're not ill because you haven't got enough poisons in your body.
Right.
Medication.
I know.
Maybe vitamins and nutrients will still be there, but medication, I think you just go to your med center and you'll get a treatment, and whatever your body needs will be applied.
So are those med bed centers, are they going to be like a lot of them, or it's just going to be a few?
They're going to be in every major town.
Right.
And they'll eventually be everywhere. So, because they're going to replace the medical world, the doctors, nurses, hospitals, they're all going to be replaced by the medbed system.
Right.
But it's going to take 2 years before it's rolled out.
And it's all going to be controlled by the military too. There isn't going to be med beds available to purchase and set up your own community med bed center. It will not happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And ambulances will have portable med bed things which can say if you're in pain or something needs to be done urgently, that can be done in the hospital, in the ambulance to get you out of pain or just do
or stabilize you until they can get you somewhere.
That's right. Those will be available too.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
Right. Bye-bye. Darren.
Hey, hello guys. How are you doing?
Good.
Okay. Is it Star Wars this time, or is it Battlestar Galactica?
No, I'm not a big Star Wars guy.
Babylon 5. Babylon 5. Let's do a question on Babylon 5. Okay.
I do have an extraterrestrial question for you.
Okay.
Sorry about my dogs in the background. My UPS guy just showed up. First of all, for your viewers, if you guys aren't using the Cell Wellness Being app, you guys really need to use it. It is awesome because I'm telling you, my mental clarity is way better. and I sleep a lot better at night. So if you guys aren't using it, go to it and go get it.
Yep.
That's right. I talked to the guy called Ian Lyons who developed it, and they did extensive testing, and he said the thing is way better than they can talk about. You know, they've had such good results, but because they're not selling it as a medical device, there's a lot it can do which they just don't say publicly. But he's been telling me privately. But
well, I can just tell you firsthand, it's really a great application, and I use it pretty much every day. Sorry about my dogs. My question is I think Peter, you posted in a couple days ago on your Telegram page on, I think it was Operation, is it Disclosure, about the Paladians and how they've been helping protect humanity since 2012 with a some kind of magnetic sphere device.
Yes.
And for number one, if you'd repost that for all your viewers, I think they really need to read it, because it's extremely interesting about how we're going through our sixth. This would end up being our sixth level of extinction level event.
Yeah,
the Paladians are going to protect us from that event. My main question is besides the Paladians, is there any other alien civilizations right now that are trying to protect humanity from a sixth level extinction event?
The Arturians, or what they call them,
there's the Arturians, the Centaurians, and the Palladians, I believe,
and the Vulcans, and but not the Klingons, huh?
No. All right. No, from Alpha, what we call Alpha Centauri. All right. Now whenever we're talking about, you know, I don't know all of the names of the different alien races.
Yeah, there are so many.
There are so many, and a lot of them have not even been exposed. So it's your guess is as good as mine at this point.
Okay. My final question is: have you guys ever heard of Dr. Michael Sala? Salla?
I've heard of him. I'm not too familiar with him.
It doesn't ring any bells.
He has some amazing information on alien civilizations, which aliens are the good ones helping out the good guys, which are helping out the bad guys. And I would honestly think you guys, if you want, you should try to get a hold of him and maybe have him on your show, because I'm telling you, he's got some amazing information, and it's all to help GESARA and helping humanity.
Go to the website and hit contact us and send the either Peter or I an email with contact information or where we can find him. Okay.
Okay, but if you could wait until after Birmingham, because between now and then I am absolutely overloaded in preparing for the show and getting ready. Wait until
you can email me directly at billy@NESARA-GESARA-QFS.com. Okay.
Okay. No, I'll do it. I think he's got great information. And the reason why I keep bringing this up, just so you guys know, is that I know, Peter, you've mentioned multiple times that in the future, 30, 40, 50 years in the future, that money is going to become irrelevant. And when you listen to some of this information, you'll understand the reason why.
I think maybe in 3 or 4 years in the future, money.
Yeah, it might not even take that long.
I think it'll be pretty quickly because money is important to us now because we don't have enough of it. And that we're all starving, or apart from the few entrepreneurs, a lot of us have trouble paying bills or whatever. But when you get to the point where you have enough money, you can buy everything you need. Money then is unimportant. It's like electricity. If you don't have it, you can't do anything. But if you have it, it's just there, and you just plug things in and use it.
Okay.
Great. Right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Darren. All right. Kyrki, hello.
Hello.
Kyrki.
Yeah, I was wondering when she was going to come on.
I was out helping my older brother to feed the cats. There is some 30, 40 cats space.
Are you giving them water from the Cell Wellbeing app?
Well, this is one of my questions, Peter. I tried a couple of times and I was not able to download it. Where do I start, please? Because in the third time will be likely.
Right. If you go to the hydration-app.com website.
Hydration.
Hydration dash app.com.
Uh-huh.
Act.
App,
Did you say
app, hydration-app.com. That's the website I created.
Okay.
Okay. And you move forward and you get to the support area. You know, because on the very first page, you don't see the menu. But if you click on learn more on the right, on the arrow to the right, you'll see the whole menu. And then you go to support. Then you can choose either Android or iOS phone, and there it will give you full details on how to install the app on your device.
Okay. Tell me where do I click? Where do I click?
If you give me the host, I can demonstrate it briefly.
Okay. Make host. Yes. All right, go ahead.
Yep, I'm the host now, it says. That's good. So let me just show you the website briefly. So you should be able to see the Cell Wellbeing Hydration App website.
Yep, we got it.
Okay, so if you go here to support, then you've got either Android or iOS phone. Let's do this. I'm assuming you've got an iOS phone.
Yes.
Have you got, is it greater than 8 or is it?
Is an SE.
SE. Okay. Yeah, so that would be iPhone 10 Plus.
Okay, right. So you click on that. Okay, and this takes you to the page which gives you the full instructions on how to install. Here's how to use the app. There should be a page for installing it somewhere. I think I'll probably iOS. There it is. Installation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Support iOS installation. There it explains exactly how to install it. There's even a little video here where you can click on the video and it takes you through the whole process and explains exactly, but it's also here in pictures what every step you need to do to install the app onto your phone. And that goes into great detail and it should tell you all you need to know.
Okay.
And the same instructions are there for Android.
That's right, yes. That's why we have Android and
iOS. Okay, tell you.
So if you go there, that'll explain the whole thing.
Okay, and if I still get any obstructions, I will stop.
You should find the answer to nearly all questions on the website. The support area is quite comprehensive in explaining and answering questions. I'm always of the thought, if I answer people's questions really well, then they're not going to bother me. So I have an incentive to answer questions.
Okay.
Okay.
There's also quite a lot on the free FAQ page. There's also quite a lot of answers.
Okay. I will look for, yes. Okay.
All right.
Does it help for pain relief?
Yeah.
To a certain extent,
yeah. You can actually put it up to your elbow, your knee, or whatnot, and run the app directly on your skin or on the area where the pain is emanating from, and it will actually help.
Yeah, but it won't happen too quickly because it's a bit subtle. How you're talking about it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks before you notice a big difference.
Okay.
Right.
It's not one treatment. It's not like a TENS machine, which would take the pain away pretty quickly.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yes. One question more, because it's remember Valerie, she's going to get another Zim note because the first one was somehow she's not very comfortable. She doesn't have any certification about that and whatnot. She ordered it today, and the question is, if she doesn't get it until the appointment, will the proof of the payment that she is going to print out, is it going to be sufficient, or is it going to be a disadvantage?
You have to have the actual physical note with you.
Okay. Hopefully it will arrive until we get the appointment with the delay.
I hope it gets there in time. Yeah.
Okay.
Just one thing to share with you. You know, the coming weekend, for you, it was last Sunday. For Greek Orthodox, it's the Doubting Thomas weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
Doubting
I'm
Thomas
amazed
weekend.
how many
Mhm.
doubting Thomases there are around with any information of this kind that we're sharing here. It's
Oh yeah.
I'm really yeah.
I
Yeah,
have them in my
out of
family.
7 billion people, how many people really know about all this? You know, not many.
Probably 1 million, I should think, around the
Yeah,
world know about
exactly.
this. So we're actually quite exclusive. That's why we're the Millionaires Club.
Right. All right, but thank you, Kyrki.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Thank you very much. Thank
That's
you. All right.
we'll be wrapping up soon because we're getting to the end of our period.
Right.
We got a few
Can
more.
I have the con back, Commander?
Well, I was wondering if I should give it back to you, to be honest, but okay, I'll
Fine, be that way.
I will do that.
All right, and we have
host.
iPhone or let's see here. We're going to Chris. Nancy will come back to you. Okay, Chris.
Am I okay?
Yeah.
All right. Got a quick question. I have an AA serial number on my Zimbabwe notes.
Yes.
But it doesn't say about being a bond. It just
Well,
says,
right. Well, it won't say that on
It
there.
won't say that.
Okay.
It's a note. Because it was printed in 2008. Nobody was thinking them as bonds back then. It was just currency.
Right.
Okay.
But they're being declared as bonds. You know?
Right.
That's why we did a whole show on this called, number 7 episode, Zim. Yeah, bond, Zim bond. Yeah.
Yeah. Look for the 007 episode
007.
on the website.
By the way, today is episode 13.
Yeah, lucky 13.
And well, I titled the show "Lucky Thursday."
Yeah, lucky Thursday. We're getting lucky.
Because instead of 13 being unlucky, I think it's a lucky day. I mean, I'm over the moon. I'm off to Birmingham next week. Yeah.
Right.
And also that we could be getting the currencies really good. So I think it's a good time to be happy and lucky. And don't fret if it takes a week or two longer. We're getting there. We got a fantastic future. And I think we can enjoy watching very much how the world is going to change before us. It's absolutely historic time to be alive.
Okay, one more. Yeah, go ahead.
I wrote all my different countries and what I have in my possession.
Yeah.
Is that what I just show up with these? Like I noticed that on that website there was one for Zims, one for Dinars, etc.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, that's all just stuff that you may need it, you may not need it. I don't know.
Show up with my
but you should bring a list of all the currencies and of course have the notes with you.
Right. But I would also take a picture of each of those notes and store it on your hard drive somewhere just for your information. Okay.
Just so you know what the note looked like, which made you a millionaire.
Exactly.
Appreciate
all right.
all you guys do for us. Thank you.
All right, Nancy, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So this question's for Peter. I thought I would save you a little time, Peter, in answering my email that's waiting for you on the water app. Okay. So I had asked you and you had responded to me. So the deal is I've already bought the app, but I was trying to get it as a promoter.
Yes,
So
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you said, well, sign up under this one. So since I've already paid the $25, do I need to pay again since I'm signing up under a different one, or how does that work?
Okay. First of all, let me tell you something about being a promoter. You don't get paid until you've earned $300. Okay. Right. So you have to, it took me a long time before I got the first money from this. And I'm positioned right at the top level. And I can tell you what I earn. I get 25 cents for every sale. It doesn't sound a lot, but when you get thousands of people buying, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to sign in at the top. I'm at the top level because I'm connected directly to Cell Wellbeing, and then everybody else is below that. So there are 2 levels where you can become a promoter. One is directly under me, where you can also assign other people as promoters. Okay, so if you're a person who knows lots of other people who have big audiences which want to buy these things, then you should go in at that level. If what I'm suspecting is the case, you yourself have a group of people you want to communicate to directly and offer it to, then take the next level, the promoter level as opposed to the distributor level.
Right.
And then you earn, for everybody which you recommend the app to, you earn 50 cents per month they use it. Okay, that's what the income. So they pay $2.50 per month, and of that you get 50 cents.
Right, and I understand. So the question is, I've already bought it, you know, under no. So if
now what would normally, this doesn't come up too often, but I know what normally can be done here is either we refund you the $25 and you just start a new account. That's probably the easiest.
Okay, great. And then the link that you gave me, would that make me a distributor or a promoter?
That depends. That's up to you. Which link you choose.
Okay.
Yeah. If you go on the website, look for the word affiliates at the bottom left.
Yeah.
Click on that. That takes you to the affiliates page. You have to log in to get to the more detailed information. So you have to register to get into the more detailed, and then you get the full information. It's explained what a distributor is. It's explained what a promoter is. Now, many people would think, oh, I'll just become a distributor. The disadvantage is, I think you only earn 20 cents or something for everybody below you, because it assumes that you've got a lot of people below you. So you have to know a hell of a lot of promoters for that to be worthwhile. Whereas at the end of the line, the promoter gets 50 cents. Actually the highest level. It gets 50 cents per order.
Okay, great. So I'll sign in. My first step is to sign in under the link you gave me, and then I'll drill down to figure out which of the two I want.
That's right. Yeah. So look at the affiliates, read through what's written there, and that should explain what you need to know.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Peter.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, Peter. Well, we've come to an end of another show here. Any final thoughts on the day?
Okay, I can just see in the chat, Elizabeth is saying, Peter, what is the link for the affiliates or promoters? Thanks. I just told you. Go to hydration-app.com. Get into go first the fast page so you see the menus. Then at the bottom, the footer of the page, you will see the word affiliates. Click on that, and that is where you will find all the affiliate information. That's the typical place to find it. So with that, I've answered Elizabeth's question.
Okay.
And otherwise, for me, the next week I'm going to be preparing for Birmingham. And it's great. If there's anybody out there who's going to Birmingham who can help me out that day, it would be great, because I'm going to be alone, and I'm going to need someone to say take tickets at the door, or
Sharon is volunteering.
Sharon is Sharon
Mason. Sharon Mason said in the chat, she's a former. She says she's a former techie. Okay, so
she's a former techie. Well, what more do I need?
Exactly.
Okay, so Sharon Mason, you got the job, yeah.
There you go. You've just been hired. Okay.
You've just been hired, yeah.
All right. And but anyway, there's an awful lot of booms incoming. Beware of the scare events. Don't get involved in any of the riots that may start to happen as they come out. Be safe, protect your own, all right, and stay out of trouble, all right, and concentrate on putting your projects together succinctly. And if you have any questions, don't. Peter has an awful lot going on. You can email me, Billy at NESARA-GESARA-QFS.com.
Okay. What I may do, Billy, this may help solve the problem. At the moment, everybody who writes on the contact form or the info thing just goes to me. What I can do is I can let you access that as well, and then maybe you can help answer some of the unanswered questions.
Sure. Okay.
because I definitely am going to be short of time the next week.
She didn't get no water.
All right.
during, Miss Anderson did.
Yeah. All right. Peter, I think I may have accidentally muted you. Peter, I muted you.
Yeah, I heard
Unfortunately.
someone trying to get in there, and you did you mute all as always.
No, actually it moves. Okay. I tried to do it individually and then all of a sudden it moved and I
Yeah,
clicked you instead of the
people do
other.
move.
Okay. But anyway, please don't hesitate to email me directly.
Your email address is Billy at NESARA GESARA GFS.
In your info. Okay.
Yeah, I'm info and he has Billy at NESARA GESARA-QFS.com.
Right. And yes, there will be a show on Sunday. This coming Sunday. It's already posted in the forum.
In fact, I've got I think about 4 or 5 links already posted in that. It's quite full right there at the moment. Right up to the 5th of to the 8th of May.
Right. And then by then all the details for the Birmingham show will be finalized.
Right, yes, and I say I nearly finished the website, but I was really trying to get it done before the show, but it was just too many little things missing. So I've told you where it's going to be. It's just not there yet. It's going to be at NESARA-GESARA-QFS.com/tickets. That's where you'll be able to buy the tickets. Not now, but maybe in 2 or 3 hours if all goes well, and then you can order tickets. There are only 100 tickets maximum available. So, and of course, they are at the £20 rate now and £30 on the door. And if Sharon's helping me out, she doesn't have to pay anything.
That's right. There you go. All right. But we want to thank you all for showing up today. Everybody wave. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Be safe. God bless.
Love from Glastonbury.
Bye. All right. Good to see you, Craig. See you there. James, see you driving over there. Be safe on the road, buddy.
Bye,
all right.
I'm back in St. Louis.
You're back in St. Louis, Barbara. Great.
Yep.
We're gonna have to get together. Okay.
Yeah.
Norma,
Sydney,
good to
Billy.
see you there. All right.
Bye from
And
Indiana.
hey, Stella, good to see you. Look comfy there. Jim. Hi, Gary. Hi.
Hi.
Goodbye.
See you Sunday,
Karen.
guys.
All right. You all have a great weekend. We'll see you on Sunday. Okay.
Y'all too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.